When we first got to Heritage, like it felt a lot like a lot of little things were like Westtown. Well, because obviously because Kwesi based a lot of things off of Westtown, but also it seemed very revolutionary within Ghana.
Heritage Academy is about providing access to quality education for kids who otherwise wouldn't have it. And it was very important for me to think about the whole person, right? It is not enough to be a good student, to have good grades. I think you need to have a core character, a core discipline and kindness about you to help you actually succeed in life. So you can be a really good student academically, but if you have poor character, you're not going to succeed, right? And so the 7 principles is our attempt to educate the whole child.
I keep moving on, I'm a soldier, and I'ma lose the title, I'm a holder.
Knowledge is really valuable for them because for them school isn't right. It's a privilege for them to go to such a good school like Heritage. So they really have to value the knowledge that they can get from there.
Well, every day when I would go to teach them, they'd be like really responsive in class and they'd always pay attention and always like try to answer the questions that I asked them.
Integrity was something that we had a lot of trouble with the students because they don't understand that we value their own individual work, and they're raised in a culture where they just want to get the right answer, and that's that no matter how they get the answer.
So everything we do at the school kind of comes back to the 7 principles. For example, our discipline policy is squarely based on this idea that if you are misbehaving or doing things that do not promote the health of the community, right, then you are acting against the principles. And kids actually have to be able to talk about why what they did was not in line with the principles and how they would behave differently.
Well, when we went as teachers, they definitely had a teacher-student respect relationship. They would call us sir and madam, and they would come up to us and actually try to talk things out. And that's not necessarily how all the kids in Ghana, from what we observed, were how they were. And kids at Heritage Academy definitely acknowledged the presence of the teachers, and they respected them, and the teachers respected the students the same way.
They were very respectful. Like when I first walked in the classroom, they all showed respect for me by sitting in their seats and being quiet and listening to what I was teaching and not running out of the classroom all the time.
Whenever there's a thing as a class that comes up that needs to be solved, for example, they need to clean the classroom or do something, they would take those responsibilities and actually do them as a group together. And there was actually a guy who had to ring the bells between the classes, and he would always come around, ring the bells for the start and end of the class. So those things are all run by students, and they know what they're supposed to be doing, and they follow the rules accordingly.
In Ghana, compared to the lives we're used to, they live really very simple lives. They focus on the small tasks, and each task kind of takes longer there because it's done by hand, and you don't miss out on the experience of building your own home and seeing where your food comes from there. So I feel they have a lot more respect for the simple tasks that we all take for granted because they're done for us.
We were there and we weren't really teaching things that they traditionally learn, but they still tried their best to understand those stuff. And I know, like, for example, Katiana taught them biology and she taught genetics, and it was really hard, and they still try to do all the worksheets and stuff that she gave out, and I could always tell that they were trying their best.
By basing our discipline policy on the principles, we're able to get rid of the canes. Because in the public schools in Ghana, you do something wrong, the teacher whips you on the back with a cane. It just teaches kids fear, as opposed to our method where it encourages kids to think and to make good choices.